Hey y'all, okay, so I pretty much despise doing webcam updates, but if I don't do this now, I'm not gonna have a chance to get it done, and that's not cool. So, our topic, I don't think our topics are introduced for this month. So, this month our topic is about pets and toddlers, and this is kind of any kind of pet, or if you're even like thinking about having pets, or maybe why you don't have pets, doesn't matter. That's what we're going to talk about. And then next month we're going to talk about Easter, or just spring celebrations in general. No matter where you're at, if you don't celebrate Easter, blah blah blah. So that's where we're at there. Okay, so obviously, I'm pretty sure most of you guys know by now that I have a dog. We have a dog. His name is Captain Jack Sparrow. He is a schnoodle. That's just a funny word for a hybrid dog. He's half poodle, half schnauzer. He is pretty much the best dog ever. And Jack was actually bought with children in mind. We decided to get a dog before we decided to have children, and we knew that with our personalities, when we had a dog, we would pretty much be head over heels in love with him. We didn't want to get a dog that there was a chance we might have to get rid of him because of allergies or things like that the children could unforeseeably have. So we started looking up hyperallergenic dogs, and those are dogs that don't really have an undercoat, so they don't have pet dander, they don't really shed. They're good for people who have dog allergies. So we found schnoodles. Now, we couldn't find a rescue schnoodle, which is what we wanted, but we did find a lady who had some schnoodle puppies in her home, and she lived Alabama, I think. So we actually paid to have Jack flown here because she was just a lady who had them in her home. It wasn't, you have to be careful about puppy mills and things like that. And the puppies were, she wouldn't let us have Jack until he was ready to come home, so that was a good sign. And he was raised in her home with her young children, so we liked that. So yeah, so that's how we got Jack. We searched for him, we found him, and he's been the best dog ever since. So yeah. So Jack's relationship with the children is fantastic. We are very lucky because he is so easygoing. The children can pull on his ears, his tail, his hair, and he just kind of tries to get away, but he never snips at them, barks at them, growls at them, anything. It's really great. So my advice to people with pets, who have pets existing before children, is to have them trained. Jack was trained, professionally trained, and people always ask us, how does he do so many tricks? How is he so well behaved? We had him trained. I think it was worth it. You get as much from your dog as you put into them. It's kind of like your children. So we firmly believe. I know we have a cousin who once was like, I don't understand how your dog acts so well. Like, our dog is crazy. And we were like, we spent so much time with Jack so that he respects us so much, and that's something that the cousin was kind of too busy to do. So we were like, we just put in a bunch of time, in the initial part, and we have a really great dog, and it paid off with the children. And so I'm a firm believer. I'm very much an animal or a dog lover. And I think, like, I'm one of those people, like, people who get dogs just to stick them in their backyard. I don't understand that, like, at all. They're such social creatures, and they can be so good for your kids. So, yeah, as you can tell, like, that's like one area that I get on, like, kind of a soapbox about. I'm like, if you're gonna have an animal, no matter what kind of animal, have it to love and, to make it a part of your family. So yeah, so that's like our personal thing is just, now, if Jack had been crazy with the kids, would we have had to get rid of him? Yeah, obviously. But like I said, we did a lot of prep beforehand. We looked at breeds, like I said, not just the allergy thing, but we also looked at breeds that were, we wanted breeds that were smart, but also eager to please, because dogs that are eager to please are more likely to listen to you. And so we looked up dogs that would be good with children. We looked up dogs that didn't need constant walking in case we were busy with the children. We did our homework. Like, we did our homework before we just jumped into getting a pet, because we wanted this pet to be right with our future kids. And I think, we made the right choice. So in terms of other pets, our kids aren't really around a lot of other pets. They're around a lot of dogs. They're not scared of dogs at all, almost in a bad way. Because, some dogs you need to be a little bit more respectful of, stand back a little, let them get to know you. And then the other bad thing is like cats, because, cats aren't, they're not like dogs. You got to give cats their space. So my sister has a cat, and all Sophie ever wants to do is like go and love on that cat, and she can't because that cat will hiss and scratch at her. And I'm like, ugh. I always used to want to get a cat and name it Captain Barbossa because I thought that would be hilarious to have Captain Jack Sparrow the dog and Captain Barbossa the cat. But anyway, kind of don't want cats anymore. But I still like that my kids aren't scared of them. I think that's really great. And I think that the having animals is a good thing in our lives. So, some people can't have them, some people don't want them. It's okay if you don't want them, you can still expose your kids to pets and everything like that. I did not have a dog growing up, and I used to be nervous around them because I wasn't used to them, and now I'm not at all. But I don't like that I was like that around dogs for a really long time. Like, they made me nervous. And it was just because I wasn't used to them at all, And so there we go. Oh, the other good thing about if you are looking for a kind of dog, the good thing we like about Jack is he doesn't smell like a dog. People always tell us that. They're like, how does he not smell? So if you are looking, not that I'm turning this is becoming a like, why you should get a schnoodle. But I'm kind of thinking of people who don't have animals and are dogs and why they might not. And that's one of the reasons, like, I understand that. My house is messy as it is, We moved into this house. The people we bought the house from, the carpets were atrocious. And we don't want to replace the carpets till the kids are a little older. Plus, we'd like to do, a hardwood floor, and it's expensive. And so we're just dealing with them. But the carpets are horrible. So if I had an animal that made my carpets even worse than they already were when we moved in, I would probably faint because it already is one of those things that, like, it annoys me. And Jack's really clean, and he does, like I said, he doesn't smell like a dog. And this is something, like I said, people comment on this all the time. They're like, he doesn't even smell like a dog. I'm like, I know, he's awesome. So I guess my point, the whole reason I'm saying that isn't just to brag about my dog, because of course I love my dog. It's that if you have considered an animal, like, there are so many options. You don't have to just be scared to get one. So I think the animal that, having a pet has been a good thing for our toddlers. The only thing that really concerns us is that our children will be at an age where they're going to be very much aware and sensitive to the passing of Jack when he does, pass away. And that kind of makes me a little weary. I don't know how we're going to approach that at all. But for now, things are good. And a lot of times I almost have to protect Jack because the children, they love him so much. They want to play with him all the time. And they'll grab his hair, and not meanly, but just, especially Grayson. He's 18 months old. He'll just, kind of grab on and be like, Jack. And, Jack, actually Jack, saying Jack, that was some of Grayson's very first words, Jack, which is hilarious. So there we go. So that's kind of like, I know it turned in, I have a ruler. Why am I like a teacher right now? So I turned into me like selling Jack. I'm not trying to like advocate getting dogs. I guess I just wanted to make a point that, like, there are, if you are worried about dirtiness, if you're worried about allergies, if you're worried about this, that, there are pets that are, there are options for that. Like, you can still have a pet in your home. So yes, so our experience with a pet, which in our situation is a dog, has been really great. I'm not really interested in getting other pets. I think we have such a good thing going with Jack that I kind of worry that another pet wouldn't be as good, I guess because we're so, in love with him. And also I did a video one after we had Sophia about the dog and the baby, I think is what it was called. So I'm going to find that video and I'll link it below so you can watch that because we talked about Jack and the adjustment to having children. What's that like, for the dog's point of view, because sometimes, people, they're like, your fur babies is what people call them. So there we go. That's my video about this, which kind of apparently is an advertisement for Snoodles, which really did not mean it to be. And, if your family is like good and you don't have allergies and blah, 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 I really encourage people to go look into rescue dogs. You can make, they're really good about temperament checking and, all kinds of testing for these dogs, so you don't have to worry that you're going to get some weird dog. You can get a great, wonderful dog that needs a home. So there we go. And the last thing I was going to say is if you do have kids and the dog or the cat or the hamster or the rabbit or the pet unicorn, whatever you have, is not working out with your children, find it a good home. You know, there are lots of places to find homes for people. For people, listen to me, for animals, you know, and I think it would be, instead of that animal being in an environment that's not conducive for it or the family, find it a really good home. You know, just go out there. If you're having trouble finding one personally, contact, you know, your local humane society or, you know, animal protection agency or anything, or even a vet, and they will usually, they'll for free put up advertisements, or they'll have places where you can contact. So don't ever, you know, it makes me really sad when people have to give up pets for their children, but it happens. And so you just make sure your pet goes to a really good home. And, like, you know, other than that, if you're considering getting a pet and you already have the kids, just do your homework. Figure out what breed's good with children, what kind of animal you want in general, the work you're willing to do, because all animals are different. Like I said, we purposely got an animal that we knew didn't require daily walking, and that kind of exercise, so that if we were busy with the children. And, you know, he used to go on walks every day, but now sometimes he doesn't, and it's good because he doesn't have to. You know, he still goes on walks most every day, but you know what I'm saying. It's like we don't have to. Some animals, some dogs need it, you know, every single day, twice a day. So just look into that too. Like, what level of commitment are you wanting to have, and maybe have your children have too. So, all right, there we go. Talk to everybody later. Bye.